Hello, I'm Ricky R. LaVaughn, author of The Gospel of Mark, a Bible study on the book of Mark. In this video, I'll read Lesson 2, the baptism in the wilderness. This will include questions and just a thought section. Please have something to write or take notes on during the questions part. Also make sure to pause in between so of course you could take those notes. Thank you and enjoy. Question 1. As a symbol, what does water stand for? It's found in Isaiah chapter 1 verse 16 through 18 and Ezekiel chapter 36 24 through 28. Question 2. Who was baptized by John? Found in Mark chapter 1 verse 9. Question 3. When talking with Nicodemus, what reason did Jesus give for being born again? This is found in John chapter 3 verses 3 through 7. Question 4. Although baptism often symbolizes being spiritually cleansed, Jesus himself was perfect. What reason did Peter give for baptism? This is found in 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 20 through 22. Question 5. Why do you believe that Christ was willing to be baptized by John? Question 6. What event took place after Jesus Christ's baptism? This is found in Mark chapter 1 verses 10 through 11. Question 7. Why do you believe this declaration was made after Jesus' baptism? Question 8. What happened to Jesus when he went to the wilderness? This is found in Mark chapter 1 verses 12 through 13. Question 9. Notice that after Jesus' declaration through the baptism, he was tempted and attacked. What lesson should people take from this example when they make an open declaration for God? Should we expect turmoil or believe life will get easier? Please explain your answer. And now it's time for the Just a Thought portion. The baptismal pool is set, refreshing the sanctuary with its pristine waters and clean scent. Music is played and sung by the lead chorister, encouraging the members to partake in a joyous time. Scriptures and vows have been spoken and recited. The deacons, deaconess, and ushers are in their proper place to prepare for the holy event. Ministers of various levels and the family members of those who have chosen God to be their Lord are there. Baptism is about to commence, and the candidates are ready to declare openly before the people and Jesus Christ their intentions to live the rest of their lives holy and under God's command. The modern day baptism might not include a dove and a booming voice to accompany the baptismal proclamation, but it is still special and means everything to those who enter the water. When Jesus was baptized, he set the precedent of its importance, and all people who want to choose God should also take the plunge. Baptism isn't just a means of wiping away sins. Many often use its watery grave to symbolize that. And for humans, it makes sense considering that we are sinful beings constantly doing things against God's will. However, Jesus was perfect before, during, and after baptism. He still went down. This means that baptism isn't just a means for eliminating sin, but a declaration to the world that we are not ashamed of God and we will openly stand for Him. Being baptized is remarkable and an honor. We can't overlook its importance, nor should we look at this ritual in the same light as brushing our teeth or putting gas in the car or getting our favorite meal once a week because it's a family tradition. Instead, we must realize that when we make vows before God to serve Him, we mean that being baptized is the same covenant with God as people make with each other during a wedding ceremony. This is a specialness to the wedding that relays the joining of two people for a common goal in relationship. Baptism is special because it relays a bond between mortal people with an eternal God for His purposes and a loving relationship. Starting with your intent to serve God, does not come without pitfalls. After being baptized, Jesus went to the wilderness for prayer and then was tempted. He was pressured to go against the very life he had openly chosen before the people. As we continue to read the book of Mark, we'll see that this wasn't the only time that Jesus was questioned, tested, or even downright attacked. In all four Bible Gospels, Jesus' ministry did not start until after he was baptized. All four Gospels mention John the Baptist preparing the way for him, and we will learn to understand how Christ took up the mantle and began to do fantastic works. The same can and will be said for us. Before being baptized, a person is learning to get to know God. Information is being built and wisdom is being cultivated in their spiritual lives. A person is learning to be what God has called for them to be, but hasn't quite reached the breakout state necessary to fly and carry the gospel. Butterflies go through various stages before they're ready to become adult butterflies and migrate to warmer climates. So must a person choose God and eventually be baptized. The person has a growth period before they go into the baptismal pool or some large body of water, openly declaring their decision to choose God. Nonetheless, choosing God does not mean that life gets easier. No different than Jesus, a person who chooses to be baptized might undergo trials, tests, and tribulations. Life would not immediately get more accessible, but in reality, a bullseye has been placed upon the person who has now chosen the Lord. By showing with actions of your intent to serve God, it now means Satan and his deceiving minions will come after you with the fullest extent of their power. They will not rest until they believe you have now walked back your commitment to God and are safely in their grasp. What is the best way to overcome this? Jesus gave the answer. Through prayer. Christ showed us how to overcome any temptation and problem. After baptism, Jesus went into a serious prayer session that lasted multiple days. Then, after the temptation, we will see that throughout the book of Mark, Christ is recorded as using prayer to constantly strengthen his devotion to God, to show us what we need to do. We must follow this plan and do the same as Jesus. Whenever you get a chance, never bypass prayer. Getting baptized is now the start of your faithful ministry to God. Baptism is not the pinnacle of your life, just the beginning of it. A person must pray even more after baptism than before getting into the water. Use each day to communicate with God, talk, and of course, listen. Learn what you can and use those moments to strengthen spiritually, to defend against the attacks of evil and deception. For more on the Gospel of Mark, visit LaVauri.com/Mark for free chapters, videos, and more. Link will be in the description. It's available on Amazon and wherever books are sold in hardcover, paperback, and Kindle. Thank you so much for your support and prayers.